everybody. It's been a while. Welcome back to Chai Time. Actually, today is Chai Time Quickie with yours truly, Meherwan Irani, aka somewhat shaggy chef. I was de-shagified a couple of weeks ago under extreme duress, but now I'm re-shagifying and the hair will be back, I guarantee it. Chai Party Mom at the helm.
Hey everybody.
Cup of chai in hand. What a way to start a day. All right. Well, it's been a couple of weeks. A lot's been going on in the restaurant world. I've been scrambling, but today I'm glad to say that I'm back, and today's Chai Time Quickie is about one of the most foundational aspects of Indian cooking, which is the allium and the tuber come together in a heavenly marriage ordained by the gods. Today we're making ginger garlic paste. And you guys have heard me go on and on and on about ginger garlic paste, and you've seen me pretty much use it in almost every recipe that I've cooked with. And I'm going to show you how to make it today, which is like super simple. We're just going to buzz this in a blender and that's the end of that. But I'm also going to show you how versatile ginger garlic paste is, and the fact that you can use it as a marinade, as a rub, as a coating, as a preservative. Endless possibilities, endless. So let's start. I've explained before, ginger garlic paste is equal parts ginger and garlic, and I literally mean that. Don't worry about measurements. I mean, if it helps you, a cup of peeled ginger to a cup of peeled garlic, other way around, or a tablespoon or whatever amount it is, or if you're just handfuls. I mean, I literally went a large handful of peeled ginger, garlic, and a large handful of peeled ginger. I'm going to move these around because I keep putting ginger, garlic, ginger, garlic.
No, you're going to do it the other way.
Ginger, garlic. And that's it. That's what we're going to use to make ginger garlic paste. So let's make the paste. Bring up the trusty buzzer.
Otherwise known as my smoothie maker, but now tastes like ginger garlic paste.
And you know what? After everything we've done to this jar, still smells great. I mean, more power to who are these people? NutriBullet. Again, no endorsement by them. I'm just saying. We're going to go ahead and buzz this. So what I've done is I've peeled the ginger, and the easiest way to peel ginger is with a spoon. Just grab the ginger root, take the edge of a spoon, and just scrape off the peel. That way you don't lose a lot of the flesh inside. And there's a little bit of peel left. It's okay, no problems. And then I cut them up into small chunks so that as I whiz it, it actually whizzes. Otherwise you might, if the chunks are too big, it doesn't break down quite as well as the garlic does, because obviously it's tough and fibrous. And is that too much ginger? For ginger garlic paste? Whatever. It's all good. And garlic. So if you have a food processor at home, use that. Blender is hard, because the problem with the blender is that food processors are better, or something like this, a NutriBullet, where the contents are upside down on top of the blade, and that way there's gravity pressure on the blade, and that's why a food processor works well. This is basically a mini food processor. Okay, in order for this to buzz smoothly, quite often if I'm making fresh ginger garlic paste, I add a little bit of water just to help it buzz. But because we're probably going to make more than I need, and I'm going to save this, I'm going to add a little bit of vinegar. And what the vinegar does is act as a little bit of a preservative and helps the ginger garlic paste live longer in the fridge. So a little chunk of vinegar. And
what kind of vinegar did you use?
I just used distilled white vinegar. Yeah, easy. I mean, you don't want anything with too much flavor. You're just getting a little bit of acidity, and I'm going to put a little bit of water too. And if somebody goes, how much? I would say I've got about a cup and a half of ginger, a cup and a half of garlic, and between the two of them, I probably put a half a cup of liquid. So probably a quarter cup of white vinegar and a quarter cup of water. And all I'm doing is adding enough liquid so that this thing spins freely and turns into a paste. If you're making small amounts of ginger garlic paste, just like a little handful, you may not even need water. It may just puree just fine. All right, you guys ready for whizzing?
Here we go.
Let whizzing commence. Okay, I'm not trying to puree this into a completely smooth paste. It's going to be still a little bit, fiber in it. We're not making a smoothie here. It's okay if it's coarse. I just give it a little extra whizzing because I wanted to make sure all the ginger was ground up. And boom, there you have it. Ginger garlic paste.
Jess has an interesting question. She's saying, would you ever add oil, since you usually cook this in oil eventually?
I've added oil before too. But in this case, I just wanted to keep it with just with no oil, because if you're using it as a marinade or if you're using it as part of an ingredient in something else that only needs ginger and garlic, it's useful to not already have the oil in it. But absolutely, if you know that all you're doing with it is just cooking, you can certainly use just oil with that.
I can't get the light reflecting there. I'm trying to show people how chunky it is.
It's pretty smooth. Let me get a spoon and I can show everybody what we have. There.
Right, the light's shining on it. Hold on. Okay, now you can see it a little better.
Yeah, get it. And this thing is amazing. This blender wizard thing of yours. Okay, done. Everybody happy? Try time cookie over.
What?
No. Okay, fine. Well, so now let's use and figure out what to do with this fantastic ginger garlic paste that we have.
It does smell good. Tracy's saying she bets it smells good. It's so strong. It's incredible how this just like the whole kitchen, but in a good way. The whole kitchen smells of it.
There's a couple of miracle things that happen with making ginger garlic paste. Ginger by itself, usually people mince and or grate, and inevitably it's fibrous. And when you're cooking with it, you get that ginger fiber in it. Garlic by itself also burns really quickly and really easily. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've cooked with just garlic and burnt the garlic, especially when you're cooking Indian food and there's all this oil and you're sauteing the onions forever. When you mix ginger and garlic together and make this paste, it's dang near impossible to burn. I mean, of course you can burn it, but in the pan with the onions, it just doesn't burn. If anything, it caramelizes and creates almost like a fond that is such a fantastic part of like that flavor profile of building the layers of the Indian cuisine. So that's why even if a recipe says, hey, use ginger and garlic separately, unless I'm looking for chunky ginger or chunky garlic, I just go ahead and puree it and use ginger garlic paste all the time in cooking. So it's just something that we traditionally do with Indian food, but it also works in other kinds of cuisine where you need both the ginger and the garlic. And there's something magical about just the combination of the two from a smell.
Yeah,
like
totally.
You lose that almost metallic smell of garlic that when garlic gets a little bit old, is gone, and that freshness of ginger, that little zing that you get, is just a beautiful combination. Okay, so what are we going to make today? Today I'm going to make a masala fish fry, crispy fish fry, using primarily ginger garlic paste as the main ingredient, the coating of for almost making a batter out of this. So it's a gluten-free batter. Yay, gluten-free people. Molly Melro, are you listening?
Yay. Where's Molly? Other Molly.
Other Molly.
How long will this last in the fridge?
Huh?
How long will this last in the fridge?
Oh yeah, really good question. I was going to say, in this jar, the way it is, weeks, 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks. Just if you put it in a mason jar that's airtight with a little lid that seals, it'll last a while. And try not to stick a dirty or contaminated spoon in it when you're pulling out ginger garlic. Always use a fresh spoon and stick it back in the fridge quickly once you're done with it. Okay, so to make this paste, I'm going to use about a 1/3 cup of ginger garlic paste, heaping. There you have it. Actually, let's do about a 1/2 cup. Let's do about a 1/2 cup of, there we go, of the paste. I'm going to put this aside over here. And in this, we're going to add some spices and make basically a marinade for a fish fry. So first, a healthy amount of salt. And for about a 1/2 cup, I would say, you know what, let's do measurements. People get hung up on measurements, right, honey?
Those of us that need measurements. I'm putting myself in that category.
So I'm going to put not a heaping tablespoon of salt, but about a tablespoon of salt. I know it seems like a lot of salt, but this is also going to be salting the 3/4 of a tablespoon, salting the fish fry. And then we're going to go with teaspoons. We're going to put about a teaspoon of coriander powder. Come on, baby. And this is Spicewalla's roasted coriander powder, which is its own amazing flavor profile because it's roasted.
Okay, that's the most heaping spoon of anything I've ever seen.
These are loose measurements, people. We're making a marinade. Don't get too hung up on it, on exactly how much goes in or how much doesn't go in. We're gonna put chili powder, and I'll go light on the chili powder, not a heaping teaspoon, but a mild. That's not there. Okay, Molly's making the face.
I'm making the face. Well, I want our daughter Arya to be able to eat this.
It really burns off, honey. A lot of this flavor is going to burn off in the oil. It's not going to be as spicy as you think it is. She's going, and we got that in there. Okay. And then we're going to add We've got the salt. We're gonna add oil and lime juice. So, for lime juice, you can cut a fresh lime and squeeze it and get the fresh lime juice in there, and I highly recommend it. Or if you're a lazy cook like me, you can buy the already pre-squeezed lime juice, and here's why. This is not lime juice that's going in a salad or going in directly in the food in a way where you're gonna taste the freshness of the lime juice. This is a marinade and we're gonna deep fry it. We just want acid, we want acid from lime juice. This is organic, it's the good stuff, and a healthy squirt of lime juice. I would say about at least a couple of tablespoons. All right, and we're gonna mix this all together.
Daniel Peach is in the house.
And taste. Peach! Kati rub, baby, kati rub.
I think I saw Farhan on there earlier
And
too.
oil. Okay.
Hi, Farhan.
All right.
If that was you.
And now mix, 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 mix. If you have a whisk, whisk. If you have a spoon, spoon. Molly knows my aversion to dirty dishes, so I keep recycling the same thing I'm cooking with. Since we already have the spoon dirty, we're gonna make this, continue this way. Okay, here's what this needs. This needs more red color. And since Molly doesn't want more chili powder in here, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add a little bit of the paprika, our nice Spanish paprika, which will give beautiful color without the heat, because that's what we also want. Okay, taste. Woo! It's got a little heat on it.
See, I told you. We had the same conversation last time you were trying to put a
But I
whole
promise you
heaping.
this was gonna cook off. So,
Okay, people, I'm going to keep you posted on this.
and about a teaspoon of Spanish paprika, Spicewalla brand. Look at that color. I mean,
Beautiful.
just look at that beautiful, beautiful color. I know, I'm so proud of this company.
So
proud of the
proud.
spices, so proud. I mean, this paprika is some of the best paprika. Paprika has something called a ASA rating.
What is that?
Basically, it's the grade of paprika, and this is the highest grade paprika. We actually have 3 grades of paprika. We have this. We have a grade that's lower. That's more for like just bulk and massive usage. This is so delicious. It can be used as a finishing paprika, and then we have smoked paprika, and that's the color we're looking for. All right. Okie dokie. I told you this is a quickie. I'm actually stalling because of the amount of time we have right now. Keep doing this. Salt done. This out of the way. Let's taste it one more time. That's delicious. It's got the zing from the vinegar that was in there already. It's got the zing from the lime juice. It's got salt. It's got the coriander background flavor, and the oil is just going to help it all obviously come together, and the heat from the Kashmiri chili, and the color from the red.
Color from the red.
Spanish paprika. Let me get a glove on, guys, and let's go ahead and marinate the fish.
There's our marinade.
All right, so over here I've got a situation,
What is the situation?
and the situation is oil heating up in a pot, and it's just hit 300, and that's why I use a little thermometer, because it's really important to get the oil at the right temperature. I've had a few people email me after the pakora recipe and told me that the pakora looked really soggy instead of saturated with oil, and the answer to that was the oil just wasn't hot enough. I mean, if the oil's not above 300, 325 to 350, you're going to end up with the oil saturating whatever you're cooking and not frying it. And also, if you crowd the oil too much, like put too much in at one time, it drops the temperature of the oil, and then obviously that makes things also soggy. So I'm just cranking it back up, trying to get it about 350. But while we're doing that, let's go ahead and marinate our some of this beautiful fish.
Someone's asking if you would use yogurt in this.
Nope. You don't have to. It's already got the acidity from the vinegar and the lime juice, the ginger garlic paste. You don't want the yogurt, especially if you're going to be sort of frying with it. The yogurt will probably burn off a little bit and just turn bitter. Everything about this is going to give that delicious flavor. Everything you want from yogurt, which is the acidity, really, you're going to get in here, and that creamy mouthfeel. All right, let me get a good bunch of this stuff and throw it in. So what I've got here is some Gulf cod shrimp and some halibut. It was just what was in the freezer. I had some halibut already frozen from the last time I bought some and didn't use it. So I just cut it into, sort of fish stick size. And then this is beautiful tail on shrimp. And there's nothing we need to do to this. We don't need to salt it. We don't need to acidify it because everything is in our marinade. And if you've ever had the crispy masala fish roll at Chai Pani, this is the recipe. Let's get a little bit more in there.
Really? So the fish doesn't have any type of breading?
There's no breading, and that's what's so beautiful about this dish. It feels like it has breading, and it tastes so crispy, but it doesn't. It is the ginger garlic paste frying on the outside and essentially forming a nice crisp crust.
That's cool.
That is very cool. Okay, woo! Oil's at 350.
Rosie's making her
Alrighty.
appearance.
All right, guys, we'll start with the shrimp. And this may splatter a little bit and bubble a little bit.
I'm
because
standing
you do have
back.
a little liquid and oil in. No, don't be
Once
afraid.
bitten, twice shy.
Don't be afraid. So drop your shrimp in, well coated. You're gonna drop it away from you. And let's put 4 shrimpies in there so we don't crowd the plate. Maybe one more, 5 shrimpies. 1 shrimp for good luck, as my mom would say. Alrighty.
What temperature are you trying to keep it at?
I'm gonna try to keep it between 325 and 350. Not too hot because then it burns and overcooks too quickly, and not below that because then it just won't. And it's right now it's hovering right at 350. And that's why I like using a temperature gauge, because then you can really control the temperature of the oil and you know what it is and you're not guessing. This thing was like 11 bucks, you can get it on Amazon. This one actually belongs to a turkey burner and that's why it's so long. You can certainly get shorter ones that just fit in a pot of oil. In case anybody's wondering about the oil, I just use safflower oil. Just, don't use olive oil. And use sort of vegetable oil of choice. If you want canola, use canola. If you want
Anything for high heat for frying.
exactly.
Jess is saying she usually uses cornstarch for a little extra crispiness in that.
You can. I just, haven't found it necessary at all. The paste itself just works so wonderfully.
crispy.
And that's a great suggestion. Sure, you can crisp up a lot of ways. If you want it gluten-free, you can use cornstarch, you can use rice flour, a touch of it. I mean, you can even put just panko or breading, anything in it. But the wonderful thing about this recipe, not needed. Okay, and let's pull this bad boy out. Put it over here. Shrimp should be done. This crispy shrimp. Crispy batter on it. Come on, baby. 1 shrimp hiding back here. There we go. All right, and let's do the same thing with a little bit of fish and show everybody how that works. Again, no rocket science here. Fish is marinated. Drop it away from you. This got a little bit thin. I would have backed up a little bit in the water. This is my only 2 cents complaint over here when I was making the ginger garlic paste. I would have liked it to have been just a little thicker, but from a flavor standpoint, it's not going to make a difference. If it was a little bit thicker, less of it would burn off and more of it would stay on the fish. But this will still give us an idea.
Would you change anything about this if you were using chicken?
Yeah, so for a chicken recipe, this would be completely different. How I do this ginger garlic recipe with chicken. The problem is the chicken takes a lot longer to cook, and this paste will burn off by the time the chicken tenders are done cooking. So that's why this works great in this particular recipe. I'm just showing you how to do a fish fry, because fish cooks quickly, the shrimp cooks quickly, and the marinade won't burn off from the amount of time it takes to cook chicken. But after we're done with this, we're going to talk about all the things you can do with this marinade. Remember, this is just one application of the marinade, right? What is, not the marinade, one application of ginger garlic paste. All we did with it was show the versatility of it. You guys have seen me using it while cooking and using it as that base and that foundation when I'm caramelizing my onions. Today I showed you how to use it as a rub and basically a batter for what we're cooking, and then we'll talk a little bit more about some of the other things you can do with it. It makes a great marinade for meat and lamb. So right now, if I wanted to go ahead and marinate protein, temperature dropped. See, this is the problem. I wasn't paying attention. Talking and not cooking. You'll be surprised how quiet kitchens often are when they're busy. Everybody thinks that a busy kitchen in a restaurant is loud and noisy and everybody's yelling at each other. In fact, the busier it is and the more in the weeds you are, the quieter you are because you just gotta focus. And if there's anything being said, it's short, 1 word, 2 words, give me this, I need a that, behind you, forward you. It's really remarkable. In fact, when it's slow, that's when most people have time to lean back and yap in the kitchen. So that's why I can't talk. That's my reason for explaining why I can't
That's your
talk
excuse.
and cook at the same time. Even if I'm boiling an egg, complete silence. Everybody needs to leave the room.
This is true. I can vouch. He needs
Because I'm
complete
boiling an egg
silence.
and I don't want to mess it up. All right, let's see how this is doing. Now, here's the thing. In the past, you've seen me when I fry with oil tell you that we can repurpose and recycle the oil. Not in this case. All that ginger, all that garlic, it is going to burn off. It is going to color the oil, the paprika, and so on and so forth. So this is a one and done usage of our oil, but still, it's worth it. I mean, I think I probably spent 75 cents on the oil here in terms of how much oil I'm using for frying it up. So don't be afraid to use oil. And then if you need to get rid of it after you're done, get rid of it. If you can save it and repurpose it, like you've seen me done with vegetarian dishes like pakoras and whatever, where the oil doesn't get completely hammered, then reuse the oil. All right? Oh, yeah. All right, I'm not going to do the rest of this. Let's go ahead and try this out. So, how would I serve this up? Well, what do we want to do tonight, honey? Fish tacos?
Tacos.
Tacos! Boom.
The answer to that question is always yes.
It's always
in this
yes.
household.
Oh, this is going to be so nice. I mean, I'm going to eat this more Hyderabad Indian style. I'm going to pretend my tortilla here is a roti and just tear pieces off and eat that over there. But a little bit of that.
We need Varghese and his roti magic
And
machine.
Exactly. Some fresh cilantro on the plate. A couple of my fish sticks to go with it. Oh yes, this is going to be check. Oh my god. And it's not hot, it's not spicy, and you're going to love this.
Yay.
To go with that, let's see what else do we want to go with that. Maybe an onion. Guys, I'm so excited about this.
So you were going to tell us about some other uses.
Are you keeping me on track, honey?
Yes.
All right. So for other uses, besides cooking with it, if you were going to do something with chicken, here's what I'd do. I'd marinate the chicken in the ginger garlic paste or lamb or whatever have you, very lightly. I'd take ginger garlic paste, and you've seen me in the past do a dry almost rub with turmeric powder, Kashmiri chili powder, and salt. Well, here the difference is by adding a little bit of ginger garlic paste and mixing a little bit of Kashmiri chili powder and salt, almost like what I did here, but just without the coriander powder and without the oil. Now you've got a marinade for meat, for lamb, for chicken, and then when you go to cook the chicken or the meat or the lamb to add to, let's say, a curry or whatever you're doing, I would then cook that off separately, almost sort of brown it and sear it so that it's not cooked fully through, but just brown, and then add it to my sauce, curry, gravy, whatever I'm doing, so that the meat itself is juicy, moist, flavorful, tenderized because of the ginger garlic paste and the acidity from the ginger, and has depth of flavor on its own. So there's another application you can do with that. We use ginger garlic paste often to, not to preserve isn't the right word, but to sort of like, if I've got a cut of meat in the fridge and I think I'm not going to cook it for 2 days or 3 days, if I go ahead and slap some ginger garlic paste on it with a little bit of salt, I know it's going to be fine in the fridge. I'm not going to end up with funky meat in 2 to 3 days. So it also extends the shelf life, if you will, of raw meat and chicken when you rub it off and marinate and put it in the fridge. If you were going to do a chicken, here's an idea for a masala roast chicken. Take an entire chicken, rub it down with salt and ginger garlic paste, and that's it, right? Let it marinate for a day, and then the next day, go ahead and sear the chicken off on all sides in a large pot, like a Dutch oven. right? So that the ginger garlic paste cooks and sears off a little bit of oil. And with a pair of tongs, just turn the chicken around a few times. And if you didn't have a whole chicken and you were doing it with like legs and thighs, same idea. And then add a little bit of liquid to the pot, turn the flame down, stick a lid on it, and let the chicken roast in the pot. It's a pot roast chicken. And it'll have that incredible, delicious flavor of ginger and garlic. I know it sounds Indian, but think about it, it's not necessarily. This is a universal flavor. I mean, this will taste like, you know, it won't just taste Indian unless you added some spices to it. So really, truly, a magical magical wonder of cooking. And then when you're cooking food, when you're cooking Indian food, and I'm asking you to go ahead and saute onions and caramelize them, and then add the spices and so on and so forth. Ginger garlic paste, throwing them in with the onions as you're sauteing and caramelizing the onions, will just create that incredible depth of flavor that when Indian food is done well, you can kind of taste in the background. So it's, you know, in future recipes, I'm going to keep talking about, add some ginger garlic paste, and now you know what I'm talking about. All right, I can't wait anymore. My mouth's watering. This is forget the taco, honey. We can just eat this way.
Okay,
it's
done.
incredible. This is finger food. You can just pop it. But a little bit of this, a little bit of this fish. Gets so beautifully cooked. A little bit of cilantro. And a little bit of this onion on the top there. And that, my friends, is going to be a magical bite. Doesn't even need lime juice on it because of the acidity we put in the ginger garlic paste. All right, guys. 5 and 3. We did this in 30 minutes. Showed you how to make a foundational Indian ingredient and apply it in one of our recipes. I will see you guys probably on Saturday. We're going to get back on the horse here with the chai time cookies and chai time. And thanks, Chai Bunny Mom. See you guys all on the weekend. Have a great week.
See you soon.
Bye,
Bye
everybody.
everybody.